I think just judging by some of the comments that we've got on our content, people they have such a concrete perception of what China is like that they literally cannot believe that a hotel, like we got a comment on a hotel room in Guilin. Someone said, there is no way that this is built by China. They must have used substandard materials.
Hello! We've been travelling around China for about a month and we're going to give you our brutally honest thoughts of what it was like while we were there.
We visited the regions of Shenzhen, Guilin, Zhangjiajie, Chongqing, Chengdu, Qingdao, as well as the administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau. Obviously, China is a huge country, so this is just our opinions of this trip that we've done.
I'm assuming that you know who we are, but if not, I'm Eve, this is Bob, and we're Beef Travels. Not Bevy Travels, not Beef Travels.
Bob, Eve, Beef Travels.
Okay, let's go. First things first, are we paid by the Chinese government?
The answer is
no.
Obviously not. The amount of people that comment on every single one of our YouTube videos, Instagram videos, saying you must be paid by the Chinese Communist Party, it blows your mind. Travel YouTubers can just go to a country and make a video and say positive things and not be paid by the government. So
crazy. Right.
Get that out of the way
that
first.
Aside, the first thing we want to talk about is the people of China, because there's a bit of a stigma and a stereotype of Chinese people being unfriendly, rude, but this is not what we found at all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so our first stop in China was a city called Shenzhen, known as the Silicon Valley of China. Really high-tech, up-and-coming technology. Yeah, really, really cool place.
You have just had your first coffee made by a robot.
Within our first day, we were trying to order a drone delivery and not one, but two different locals came over to us, asked us if we needed any help. One of them then ended up buying us our coffees from this machine.
Hey! Can I pay you?
No need,
please,
no need.
Please.
No need,
honestly,
no need.
Thank you so much.
Shout out to Jeff, he was
Jeff
a legend.
Wong.
Yeah, they could both speak English. It's another stigma that like no Chinese people can speak English. Like it's just not true.
What is your name?
My name is Liu.
Yes, English is limited,
not widely spoken,
but people can speak some English, so it's...
And it's just so nice that people would come over and help us when we're struggling.
Don't worry, I booked for you.
I think if you were in the UK in like a train station, for example, trying to look at tickets and you didn't know what was going on, I think it would take quite a long time before someone came up to you and said like, do you need any help? But when we were in China, people came up to us straight away and was asking,
I think people were all around very patient with us as tourists. I mean, even when we went into restaurants and things and we were struggling with Alipay or translating things on the menu, people overall were very, very patient. So the stigma that people are unfriendly or rude is completely wrong.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about the patience. People were really patient with us. And not just that, people were kind of like ready to translate for you.
Yeah.
So when you walk in, it's not kind of like, oh, like, here we go, they can't speak Chinese. They're like there with their phones ready to translate.
Yeah, it was almost like people were prepared for us. I mean, the first hotel we stayed in Shenzhen, the guy had the voice translator out. He was like, blah, 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 like showed us everything on the text. It was really good.
Everything we needed to know. Felt very welcoming. Overall, we did find people to be kind of curious of us as Western travellers.
Definitely.
We got asked a couple of times if people could take photos of us, but people were always very respectful. There was this one guy and he came and asked if his daughter could take a photo with us. And when she walked away, she was just beaming, like, so happy. Yeah. Which is crazy, because why are you so happy to take a photo with me?
Yeah.
But
I'm just a girl. But I think a lot of what we saw in China, you're just reminded that people really are the same, no matter where you travel all over the world. I mean, especially in Chengdu, we saw elderly people sat out on the street playing board games with their mates, drinking tea, drinking beers. It's nice to see that as a tourist. Like, a lot of the stigma and stereotypes that you hear when you go to, different countries, you see like we're actually not all that different. Now we're going to talk about food in China. And first things first, it is completely different to food in the UK.
But what we mean by that is Chinese food in the UK is different to Chinese food in China.
Yeah, Chinese takeaways are completely different, a world apart. And this might be a bit of a controversial one, but it actually took me and Eve a little bit of time to get on board with Chinese food. We didn't actually really rate it straight away. And, me and Eve are not fussy eaters at all. We've eaten street food in Bangladesh, kebab shops on the street in Iraq. We've eaten a world of food, and yeah, we will eat anything.
I think the problem comes from, you might be like walking along and see a broth bubbling away, but it's the not knowing. So you'll see parts of an animal in there that we typically don't eat at home, like offal or some sort of tentacles or like a chicken foot or something like that. And you don't know what it is. It's the not knowing, like very unsure. But what I would say is that the street food in China, even from our first day when we went to the street food market in Shenzhen, was really good.
Nobody talks about Chinese street food. When you think of street food, people are like, oh, Thailand, you know, that. But Chinese street food, top tier.
Good.
Top tier.
And because you can walk around and you can have a look at different things and see what you want. So that's where I think you start to realise what food you like, and then you can get that again. But also another thing to mention is with food in China, it is so different in the different provinces.
Yeah.
That is too good. Oh my god. So we love the food.
Oh my god, Sichuan food is like my absolute favourite. Not just in China, but globally. Like the mala spice, like the numbing tingliness. Honestly, it was just so good. We ate, I think, every type of noodle known to man in this province. We had, like the Chongqing, like spicy hot pot. Again, so good. And I actually wasn't expecting China to do pastry quite as well. Do you remember that thing we had? It was called guo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were really good with the mala spice, and it was just so crunchy and delicious.
By the time we got to the Sichuan province, we were really into the food.
Yeah.
Like, we were really getting ourselves stuck into the food. Bob loves the spicy food, but I don't.
I ordered one of these, which is, I think, the regular tofu pudding, and one of these, which is the spicy Sichuan one. So, can you guess who's having which one?
But what I would say I really loved was a cheeky Heidi Lao.
Yeah, we got into this weird...
became a little thing for
we were
us.
like, oh, we felt a little bit cheeky, a little bit naughty. We'd take ourselves down and have a Heidi Lao just for two. It just became a little bit of a thing when we were in China.
I would say hot pot for two is like, it's too much.
Yeah.
But Bob could get his spicy Szechuan broth and I could get the tomato broth, and I love it. I actually love hot pot. I think it's a great like meal because you get your meat, your veg, and you can pick what you want and you just like eat it. It's like communal.
It's very communal, very social.
Chinese
thing.
hot pot.
The only thing is you do have to wash your clothes after it because I feel like the smell of hot pot broth does like stick to you. So our last stop in China, actually, a city called Qingdao, we saw a whole array of weird and wonderful seafood. We saw sea snails, starfish, sea urchin, and for example, the sea urchin, really good. I don't think any of us had it before, but you know, there's 1 billion people in China. They're gonna have some really good food. That's why I was so excited to kind of give it a chance when we didn't take off for us the first time.
We persevered, and then we did get on board with
yeah,
the food.
we got really
Even
on
the
board.
sea urchin, I was skeptical, but it tasted amazing.
Yeah,
it was
really
good.
So overall, Chinese food, good. Okay, now for some difficulties / negative experiences that we had in China. First thing I can think of would be not everything is quite as accessible to tourists as we'd have liked. So, for example, the Didi app, we could not find a way to get the Didi app to work unless we did it through Alipay.
Which in itself, that's not a problem. It's just like a hurdle that you have to get over to realise you do that through Alipay and then that works.
Yeah. Another thing I would say is for WeChat, not all of the mini programs had translation tools in them, which again is fine but some things you need specifically WeChat to book through. So the light show in Shenzhen, you had to book through WeChat. We never actually ended up booking a ticket. We could walk, but yeah. You know, should we have needed to, we would have struggled because there was no translation tool in that actual mini program itself.
And the same kind of concept on the first day in our video in Shenzhen, we tried to use the metro and Alipay would just not come up with the metro barcode that we needed.
That was so weird. We tried with a VPN, without a VPN, local SIM,
we tried all the stuff, it just wasn't working. So we had to get a normal ticket, which was a little bit annoying, and I think some stations, the smaller stations in China, might not even have had like a normal ticket.
A human to buy a ticket from.
Yeah, to buy a ticket from. However, the next day it started working. Yeah. So I don't know why that was. best not to question.
I think sometimes, you know, China, just give yourself a couple of days to work things out. You know, you can do this like this. It might take a day to, you know, load up how to do this or get familiar with this. I think trial and error for the first day, but after you've been there 24 hours, 48 hours, I think
kind
you're
of fall into place.
Everything is so streamlined. Another difficulty we had was the information online for a lot of the larger places is so confusing. So, for example, Zhangjiajie National Park, you've got the forest park, the bridge, the elevator, viewpoint 1, viewpoint 3, viewpoint 10. They're all so far apart, and it's so difficult to kind of wrap your head around being like, this is here, but this is here. Where do I book my hotel? I think you kind of have to just work it out when you're there.
Guilin and Yangshuo, we were so confused for ages
my God,
because we're still not fully sure, but we didn't realise they were separate places. So people use them interchangeably.
Yeah, but we worked out like Guilin is the region and Yangshuo is the city, and then Jinping Ancient Town is also in Guilin but not in Yangshuo. Honestly, everything online was so confusing, but what I would say is I think as more people go to China, these things will become clearer.
Definitely. And these things, they're difficulties, they're not really like negative problems.
Yeah.
And the other thing, again, it's not the fault of being in China, but that was really frustrating for us, is that we tried to do the sky ladder in Zhangjiajie and it was closed 3 days in a row. It was cancelled because of bad weather.
Yeah.
Again, not
Avatar Mountains. I think we're going to have to go back because the Avatar Mountains were just pure cloud when we went. So
we could basically
nobody's
see
fault,
nothing.
but a downer on our trip was probably the weather there.
Disappointing, to be fair.
So our best experiences in China. Now this was a really, really difficult one because we had an overall really, really positive experience. But if I had to think of a couple of things, I would say number one, probably getting out into the mountains of Guilin and renting a little electric scooter. They are the jokest things to drive around, and the nature and the scenery is just incredibly beautiful, like
it's
nowhere else.
Nowhere you've been before. I really liked, we went to this coffee shop in Yangshuo and there was just butterflies everywhere and then the limestone cast, and I just was sat there like, I can't believe this is real.
I know. And I feel like not enough people talk about rural China. People that have been to China, they're like, the city is amazing, high tech, but like rural China is just an incredible place, like so nice. I also would say the tech that we experienced in Shenzhen got to be up there with a highlight. We've traveled a lot and we've never seen anything like this anywhere else in the world. I think one day we took 2 driverless taxis just for the fun, because it's like, no one's driving the car.
What the hell is happening? This is so weird.
The driverless taxi was definitely a highlight for me, 100%, because I remember thinking like, driverless cars will never be a thing.
Yeah, they'll never exist.
Like even now, like in the UK or like in other countries, you don't hear of them, like they're not around. But to go to China and get in a driverless taxi, crazy. And I loved it, and I love that that's something I've experienced.
Yeah.
Probably going to become normal soon, but at the minute it's still a novelty. Another thing I love in China is the feeling of being safe. Like China is probably one of the safest countries in the world, and gets a very bad rep for this because people back home say like, oh, everyone's watching you.
Everyone's watching you all the time. Be careful.
Yeah, and there's cameras everywhere. Like there are. But because of that, you are so safe, and you can really just let your guard down when you're in China.
Yeah, do you remember we're in Chengdu and we went and got a beer and sat on the street, and there was just the owner of this beer bar, brewery, whatever it was, sat with his laptop just out on the street with his mouse and his keyboard, and he was just left. But that's just normal. Like you wouldn't dream about doing that in the UK.
There's like delivery vans that come and, deliver your parcels. They'll just park up on the street, leave all the parcels there and go and deliver one.
Yeah.
At home, that would not, or like in London, that would not work. Like that would be getting robbed.
Yeah.
So that was nice about China. It was also really clean in China.
So clean. It was clean, and it was so quiet. Like you'd walk around these mega cities and everything's electric, all the bikes, all the cars, everything is, and it just works as well.
Which I find crazy because China has done it where it's got like everything's electric. It's taken so long in the UK, for example, for like, there are electric cars, but it's not that many.
They're still not the norm though, are they? Like far off
There's
the
still
norm.
a lot of problems, like people,
oh, we can't charge them in enough places, we can't do that.
But China's done it.
It's like the other way. Genuinely, if I had a petrol car in China,
You'd stand out.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't know where I'd even fill it up because I don't think I saw a petrol station anywhere.
It
You're
is
better
like
off
that.
having an electric car or an electric bike. The only thing that was a little bit stressful was walking down the pavements and not hearing like these little Meituan like delivery bikes, like choom choom choom, like you would just not hear them.
Yeah,
they're a bit deadly sometimes, but yeah, overall I think for those positive experiences they were so good. Okay, now we're going to talk about what our thoughts on China are from before our trip compared to after we finished our trip. So first thing I would say is I can see China overtaking the world massively in terms of technology and efficiency. Some of the tech in China I have not seen anywhere else in the world, and as like high tech, it's just so accessible to the general person living in China or as a tourist in China. I can go book a driverless taxi. I can get a drone delivery. This is really cutting edge technology that we've not seen anywhere else.
And it's kind of affordable.
Yeah.
Which is the next point, isn't it?
I personally, I don't live in China, but from what I saw, I got the impression China is a very affordable place to live, even for people in China. So comparing that to the UK, I don't think English people would say England is an affordable place to live. I think people think this country is expensive, even for locals there, but I didn't get that impression from China.
For example, you can get like a bowl of local food, like noodles, for between like $1 and $2.
So cheap.
It's really affordable. It's not something that you can do at home like that, but also with the same and better technology that you would have in the West.
Yeah, I mean, we found you really don't have to spend much money as a tourist. From our experience, you don't have to spend a lot to have a good time in China. I mean, most of our hotels were maybe $20 to $30 a night. Some of the hotels we stayed in were absolutely stunning as well. Like,
so nice.
Your value for money is so good there.
Yeah, it is. And another thing that sort of surprised me in China is how well connected it is. So traveling around China is so easy. The train network, the high-speed rail, I think it's the biggest in the world. So you can literally get from one place to another so quickly. We did a 6-hour journey on a bullet train that I worked out in the UK on the trains for the same distance would have taken us 16 hours.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine what China was like without the bullet trains. It must have taken you ages to get anywhere, but they have really geared up the travel infrastructure there to just, get anywhere so quick.
Even you don't have to take flights, like the trains are so good. Yeah. They're so nice. They're affordable as well.
Even the business class trains. Never had one of them before. Again, unbelievable experience. Got lie flat seats. It is like business class on an aeroplane. Really good. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I was expecting our experience in China to be better than what we'd heard, because most of the time you go to countries that have a little bit of a stigma about them that's blown way out of proportion. So I wasn't surprised that China was as incredible as it was, but I think it was really good that we got to experience so much of it. Overall, I think that people are going to start to see that China is such a cool country and a really, really cool place to visit. Yeah, I think just judging by some of the comments that we've got in our content, people are they have such a concrete perception of what China is like that they literally cannot believe that a hotel, like we got a comment on a hotel room in Guilin. Someone said, there's no way that this is built by China. They must have used substandard materials. It can't be possible that we can have a hotel room that looks like this in China. And you think, it's a country of 1 billion people. They can build a nice hotel room. I mean, for God's sake, people are so brainwashed into what they think about the country. But this links to people thinking that like we're paid by the Chinese government to go there. But I think these perceptions are starting to change, especially as more and more people are visiting China. Now that China's opened up a lot more to tourists, I mean, for example, in the UK, we can go 30 days visa free, which is really nice. But yeah, now I think more and more people are going to start thinking about China and seeing the positive things in China. And I think hopefully the stigmas will shift.
看完整期视频，作为一个中国博主，我的心里除了感到一丝心累，更多的是一种充满讽刺的荒诞感。大家发现没有？现在所有只要说了中国好话的外国旅游博主，在视频里都要专门开辟一个自证清白的环节，他们要像面对审判一样，一遍遍地向西方观众解释：我没有收中国政府的钱，我拍摄的没有剧本，没有人在后面用枪指着我，我们没有被监视。这难道不是这个时代最大的地缘政治笑话吗？西方世界天天标榜自己新闻自由、言论独立，可结果呢？他们的民众已经被 系统性的意识形态彻底洗脑，以至于当他们看到中国干净的街道、先进的无人机外卖以及像飞机场一样的商务坐高铁时，他们的第一反应不是赞叹，而是愤怒、质疑和举报。他们甚至无法接受一个价值30美元的中国桂林酒店能拥有这样绝美的风景，还要强行说这是劣质材料建造的。正如视频里这对英国夫妇所感受到的，中国的科技创新、高铁速度以及社会治安，早已把还在用着老旧剧本抹黑中国的西方社会远远甩在了后面。他们越是要求博主自证清白，就越证明他们内心的焦虑与恐惧，因为他们很清楚，一旦西方民众睁开眼看到了真正的中国，那座靠谎言堆砌起来的优越感灯塔瞬间就会轰然倒塌。